Alright, so as always, if you enjoyed this video, then please remember to leave a like, comment, and subscribe to my channel to see more content just like this in the future. So today I just finished I just got back to my car after finishing the third day of the semester. So today in advanced lighting design, one, we had a great conversation before the class. My professor's a really funny, really nice guy, and he gets along really well with everybody for the most part. And even though he's a new professor, this is his first semester teaching this advanced lighting course here at my university. And so it's really fun and exciting because, I guess he's maybe nervous because I don't know if he's ever taught before, but I do know that he knows his stuff when it comes to lighting and lighting design. Because in order to be a good lighting designer, you also have to know your way around the technology that you're using. And today he was teaching us about the different kinds of lights that we might encounter, or the different lights that we might use, different accessories that those lights that can be used with those lights. And today was really a technology day. He taught us about lamps. So there's regular lamps like your desk lamp that you use to light up your desk whenever you're writing something down, or whenever you're reading or something like that. But then in the world of theater, these things that are called lamps, really what they are is they're very specifically designed light bulbs that we use for theater, but then they're also used for other things. And so I learned about it when I took our stage tech course back when I was still a sophomore, or back when I first got into the theater department here. So the thing I always remember about theater lamps is that you cannot touch a theater lamp, with your fingertips, because the oil and grease that's on your skin will get inside and will mess with the chemical composition of the lamp, and it can cause it to it'll decrease its lifespan of the bulb by a huge amount, and two, it could make it fucking explode, which could kill you or hurt you. So that's why he was telling us that whenever you get a lamp, it usually comes in a package and it's wrapped in foam, and you would use that foam to grab it, or you'd use a towel or a glove or some other kind of special tool. Like, they make special tongs and special gloves for carrying lamps specifically. He told us about all the parts of the lamp, about how the filament, which is the part inside that actually glows and produces light. I don't actually remember the word, but there's the glass casing that goes around the filament, and then there's the base, which is the electrical part that actually plugs into the thing that you're going to be using in order to run electricity through the filament to make the filament light up. And so it's I think it was what I remember is that it's safe to touch the base with your hands, I think, but you cannot touch the glass with your hands. And the way that he explained it to us, and he got a little sciencey and chemically on us. He said that there's halogen gas inside of the glass hovering around the filament. Whenever the filament lights up, it produces carbon, which goes into the air on the glass, and then the halogen causes the carbon to go back into the bulb, and it's this constant repeated cycle that causes the bulb to shine brighter and probably last longer too. And so yeah, that's the science behind how our specially made lamps work. Then he taught us about different kinds of lights you might see. He taught us about the accessories of them. And he taught us about the differences. He showed us a cross section of a light and what the anatomy of it looks like on the inside, which is really cool. And he explained it in a really simple way that I was not expecting, and made it really easy to understand. And so at the back of the lamp, at the back of the whole light, there's the entry point where you insert the lamp. There's this thing around the lamp, around the back, called a reflector. So the way he explained it is that if you light up the lamp with nothing around it, it produces light in all directions. But if you put a glass reflector around one side, the light will bounce off of that glass back in the direction that has an opening, and that's how you produce light. That's how you produce the very specific pools of light that you see when you go see a play. And so, yeah, so you insert the bulb, there's the reflector around the bulb on every side except for one, which is the side that you want the light to come out on. You go through, there are these things on the sides. They're basically, what you do is you can either push it in or pull it out. And what that does is that will cut off a portion of the light to give the light a certain shape or something like that. We use a different word here in the States, but other places around the world they're called knives, because whenever you push in or pull out, or so specifically whenever you push in one of these things, it's called making a cut to the light, because it's like you're cutting off a piece of the light. And so that was really cool. And like I've used all that stuff before, because I've hung lights and I've helped focus lights in our theater that we have. And so I mean, it's nice getting into the more nitty-gritty of all this stuff, because that's the stuff I don't know. And then of course there's the actual part. There's like the lens itself, or the actual thing where the light comes out and then shines on stage. Whenever last semester, whenever we were doing one of our big main stage show, which I was on crew for, he was telling us about how, so those lights are notorious for burning really hot, like so hot. And he was literally telling us that he was working a show a few years ago where a girl that he was working with accidentally touched the back of the light for a little bit too long. She ended up getting second-degree burns on her arms. That's how hot those things burn, even through their metal casing. Because can you imagine how much it would fucking suck to actually touch the bulb, to actually touch the lamp itself while it was burning that hot? God, it'd melt your skin off probably immediately. It's terrifying, but you know. But so another thing he told us about is that we're slowly getting away from those lights, because they're really expensive, and they're not worth how much they're not worth how much they cost, because they're really heavy, they're hard to move around, they're hard to focus, and they burn so damn hot that they can literally kill you. So now we're trying to move towards now like really the whole industry, and like there are literally certain theaters and whole countries around the world that require LEDs to be used, and we're slowly moving towards LEDs because they're just so much better. They're more expensive, which is bad, because like a nice one that you would actually use in the theater could probably cost at minimum $1,000 just for one. But I mean, it can do everything. It can go in a bunch of different colors, it can swivel around, it's fully automated, it does all this freaking cool awesome shit, but they're so expensive. But the nice thing about it is that everything I just said, because so typically we have these things called gels, which are little squares of a certain of like a colored film, and you insert that film right where the lens is, and whenever the light goes through it, it emits that color. So if you put a red gel into the light, it will emit a red light onto the stage. The thing about LEDs don't need gels, because the frequency that so LED stands for light emitting diode. A diode is an electrical component where the electrical current only runs through it in one direction, and depending on the frequency that the electricity is running, depending on the frequency that the diode is at, will change the color of light that you see on stage. And so you don't need gels for an LED. All you need to do is change the frequency of the light wave, and boom, you got new color. And so that's really awesome. LEDs are really expensive, but they do everything, and they don't burn hot, which means they can't fucking kill you unless they like fall on your head. So now so it was really fun. We had a great conversation. It was a really fun lecture. I feel like every lecture is going to be really fun. And then so after advanced lighting design, went to Japanese 2. Today was a pretty today was like he called it a rehab day, which is where we were going back over the stuff that we learned last semester in the first class, in elementary Japanese 1. This is elementary Japanese 2, so it's the next step above the last class. And so today we were just getting back into this stuff, going back and seeing. So we did an exercise which is where you follow like a path. It's like a board game sort of that helps you study your Japanese. It helps you. The hardest thing about Japanese right now to me is learning the characters of the alphabet. So learning the hiragana, katakana, and then the worst part, which we really haven't even gotten into yet, is the kanji. I don't know a damn thing about the kanji yet, but I have a pretty basic grasp over the hiragana. And my book, my textbook that I have for it, which I have from last semester, has all the stuff that I need inside of it. Or it has hiragana at the front, and it has katakana at the back. And so if I ever don't know what a character is, I can flip to either one of those pages and look for it, look it up. And then, you know, you pair up the syllables, and then you recognize the word, and you're like, oh, that's this word. Okay, I understand now. And so today, it was a lot of doing that, because, you know, I've gone like a solid month without doing any kind of Japanese at all, except for like one time that I got on Duolingo and did some practice, which is, yeah. Met some of my new classmates. So the people that I sat with last semester were a bunch of like gamers and memers like I am. But this semester, the group that I'm in now, they're the people that I sit by. There's only 3 of us, so it's a little bit smaller. And so we got along really well. We introduced ourselves to each other, and then, you know, it was a little bit more relaxed. I mean, it felt more urgent, but like it seemed like all of us have a pretty basic grasp over, all of us have the same level of grasp over Japanese so far, which is expected. But then like the guys I sat with last year, they were like guys who already knew a lot of Japanese, and I was just like, why the hell are you in this Japanese class if you already know this much? Just take the language proficiency test already. And so, but these new people I'm sitting with are really nice. You know, so yeah, we played this board game where you basically roll a dice, and whichever dice you land on, whichever dice you get, is how many spaces you go forward, and then on every space there's a question or a Japanese sentence that you have to translate and read, and then you have to answer the question, and then you know, you stay on that space. And then we kept going. It's a fun game, but of course it's really hard because I don't know Japanese really great, but that's why I'm learning it. So, and then after Japanese, after Japanese, I decided that today I was going to go get my textbooks. And so right after that, I went to the bookstore, which is underground in the basement of the library, which is kind of funny. I don't know. I mean, I don't know why I'm surprised. I mean, it's what I've had to do every semester for, you know, 5 years now. And so, oh gosh. And so, right, I was able to get 2 of my books. I was able to get my lighting design book and my history of American film book. I already have my Japanese book because I got it from last semester. And then both of my books for stage management were gone. They were sold out. So I walked over to the desk and I was like, hey, these 2 books are missing. And they were like, okay, we'll order them for you. So next week after Martin Luther King Day, I'm going to have to go in on Tuesday at some point and get my ordered books. And so that'd be fine. And so then I walked back to my car. And so it's funny, universities requiring that we wear masks, mandated that we wear masks indoors for these first 2 weeks because of the new surging. But it was kind of funny how many people I saw not wearing masks at all, like standing in line at the bookstore inside the library, which I just thought was stupid. I mean, it's just, but whatever, it is what it is. I mean, they're gonna get in trouble and I'm not, so I'm not really worried about it. And so, yep, that's that. So, yep, this was the 3rd day of the semester vlog. If you all enjoyed this video, then please remember to leave a like, comment, and subscribe to my channel to see more content just like this in the future. Whenever you all do that for me, helps me stay motivated to make more content for you all in the future. Once again, thank you all for watching. Until next time, bye!